don't be the person that didn't listen a year ago and then not listen today. If you are that person that didn't listen a year ago, that's okay. It's all right. But listen today, because a year from now, I'm afraid it's going to be worse. Now, ladies and gentlemen, let me ask you a question. Do you think that anyone on Capitol Hill, do you think that these gas prices will affect the finances of anyone on Capitol Hill? Do you think that it will affect the finances of millionaires, of billionaires? Do you think it'll affect them? Do you think that the increase in price of everything because of these gas price and oil price increases will affect any of those people that I just aforementioned? 40 cents a gallon is not as much to them as it is to someone who's making $30,000 a year. That is why inflation hurts mostly the working class. It literally steals your labor. You are now having to work more in order to be able to purchase the same amount of gasoline today than you did yesterday. All right, ladies and gentlemen, this is a great example to how it is that inflation hurts the working class and the poor a lot more than it does the upper class. Thank you for asking. You just reminded me. I asked Victor to send me a picture of this. And I hope that whoever you are that sent Victor this, I hope that you are here listening, because I have not seen it, but my wife told me about it because she went to visit Victor and Brenna, his wife, at their place, and she had picked it up from the post office, so I never saw it. But one of our community members sent Victor and Brenna a high chair, you know, one of those little high chairs where you can feed the baby. So thank you very much. I asked them to send me a picture. That way I can share with you all and show you what they sent them. I haven't even seen it, but thank you very much to whoever did that. I mean, I know you didn't send it to me. You sent it to my son, but I really do appreciate it. And I mean, that it's very humbling that you would do that. So thank you. Thank you very much. So ladies and gentlemen, what I did was I went ahead and I mapped out a lot of the commodities that we need in the things that we use every day. And I went ahead and mapped out the percentages that they've been going up since the beginning of the year and since the beginning of this month, just to give you an idea as to where we are headed. All right. And remember, causation does not equal correlation, or correlation does not equal causation, meaning that in my opinion, and this is my opinion and the opinion of a lot of other, you know, statisticians and cycle people, is that we are in the middle of a cycle and we are towards the end of that fourth turning, or about in the middle of the end of that fourth turning, which being that the fourth turning is the turning of crisis. It's the season of crisis, the winter. So we're about in the middle of that, ladies and gentlemen. We've got at least another good 10 years to 12 years to go before this crisis era is over. So you better be getting prepared, and you better be filling in your gap, and you best be trying to find innovative ways to get prepared even better. You know, find more room if you need to find more room. But in my opinion, I would rather find more room than to leave my money in the bank, because I think that we're going to have a huge crash coming. When, I have no idea, but take a look around. Take a look at what's happening and tell me that we're not going through a crash right now. Maybe not a high-speed crash, but we're definitely going through one. All right, so I'm going to share this with you, ladies and gentlemen. Take a look at this. All right, so now this is oil. We're going to start with oil, okay? Oil, you may not be able to see it because, you know, it's a little bit small on your screen, but I actually drew these charts out so I know what they say. So if you can read the writing on there, it says there that from January 1st, which is the bottom writing, from January 1st to March 1st, the price of oil jumped 28%. Okay? And then from March 1st to today, to the present, it's gone up another 25%. Ladies and gentlemen, since the beginning of this year, the price of oil has gone up 53%. Now, this, ladies and gentlemen, is a leading indicator to what we're going to be paying for everything that uses oil. meaning that from the beginning of the year till today, all of the stuff that uses oil has not gone up 53%. Why? Because it takes time for this to filter through the economy. Now, when it comes to gasoline, that's a different thing, because the turnaround time between a barrel of oil and the gasoline that is produced with it is a lot shorter than the turnaround time between oil and turning it into all of the peripherals that we turn it into, like plastics, okay, fertilizer, things like that. It's a shorter lead time for gasoline and diesel, heating fuel, etc., than it is for all of those other things that we consume. So you're looking at a 53% increase. And if you know anything about technical analysis, you can see there that that white line is just above the 200-day moving average. So that red line is the 200-day moving average. You look at the top of that oil chart, it is very far away from that 200-day moving average, which means that it is in a bull market. And whoever didn't watch my video that I put up earlier today, I mentioned in that video that I read an article here not too long ago of a gentleman who's an economist saying that we are headed into what is going to be an oil super cycle, which means what to you and me, really? It means that the price of everything is going to continue to skyrocket, ladies and gentlemen. Don't know how long I've been saying this. I'm sure that you've gotten tired of me saying this over the year, but you better get it today if you're going to use it tomorrow, because it's going to be more expensive. And this, ladies and gentlemen, is our wheat futures. So wheat berries. This is the wheat futures. If you take a look from the 1st of January to the end of February, I say March 1st, but it's really to the end of February, you're looking at a 23% increase in wheat. From the 1st of March, ladies and gentlemen, to present, to today, we have a 30% increase in wheat. We have a total of 53% increase in the price of wheat futures as of today, from the 1st of the year to today. What do you think that's going to mean to the price of those things that use wheat going in the future? This is also a leading indicator, because I'm sure that you did not see the price of bread in the stores go up 50% between yesterday and today, right? Or between the 1st of the year and today. Probably not, I don't think. So this is also a leading indicator, which means what? That look for all of those things that use wheat in them to be going up in the future. I'm not saying they're all going up by 50%, because there's a lot of things that use some wheat in it, but it's not all wheat. But you can see here that the price of wheat, 53% from the 1st of January to today. And it doesn't stop there, ladies and gentlemen. This is not going to stop. This is getting worse and worse. I don't see it getting any better. Not that I hope that it doesn't, but it's just not. Here is corn. Corn from the beginning of the year to March, or to the end of February, 18%. 9% from the 1st of March to today, for a total of 27%. When I'm going through all of these with you, ladies and gentlemen, think about all of the things that these things are used to make, produce, manufacture, whatever it is. Those are all of the things that are going to be going up in price. I know everybody hates soybeans, but guess what? It's in a lot of the food that we eat, whether we think it is or not. Soybean from the 1st of January to the end of February or March, 22%. From 1 March to today, 1.5%. Now, if we were in regular times, ladies and gentlemen, that 1.5% increase alone from the 1st of March till today would be a huge deal. A huge deal, 1.5% increase in the span of 4 days. But we're not only looking at that, we're looking at a 23.5% increase in the span of 3 months. We don't eat copper, ladies and gentlemen, but it's used in a lot of stuff. And this doesn't sound like that much when you compare it to the food items that I just went over and the oil. But between the 1st of the year and today, 11% increase in copper. And look at this, ladies and gentlemen, rice, right? That staple that all preppers love, rice. Between the 1st of January and today, a total of 12%. But do you all remember, if you saw this, but I remember telling you once that the the percentage increase that you see on the screen, let me get this. The percentage increase that you see on the screen, like for example, rice, 12%, right? That's not necessarily what you are going to pay. You are going to end up paying more. Because if rice goes up 12%, remember, we live in a credit credit system, a credit economy, meaning that almost, I can't say every business, but almost every business out there works with credit. They capitalize their business with credit. So if a farmer is going to plant rice, he takes out credit to buy the seed. Then he takes out credit to buy the fuel. He takes out credit to fix his machinery, etc., etc. Then when his harvest is done, he goes ahead and sells his harvest, and then he pays back the loan. But when he sells his harvest, he has to sell it for enough where he can pay his loan off to include the principal and the interest. So even though the price of rice went up 12%, it's going to be a little more than that to the next person that buys it, because you need to pay for that credit. So it's going to be a little more than that. And it goes all the way up the line to until it gets to the supermarket shelf. So only because it says 12% on the chart doesn't mean that you're going to pay 12%. More than likely, you're going to pay, probably double that. And I want to show you something that one of our community members sent me today that pretty much proves that point. You see this? These are two labels for a 20-pound bag of basmati rice at Walmart. One label, if you look at the bottom left-hand corner of the first label that says $18.52, that label is dated October 19th of 2021. Now, if you take a look at the exact same product on the opposite side, that is $28.84, which is more than $10 on the price. So it's more than 50% off of the original price that you see on the left. If you take a look at the bottom left-hand corner, right under the number 2 from the 28, that date on there is March 3rd of 22. It's yesterday's date. So you're looking at about 5 months' time, and you're looking at about 60% increase in the price of that rice. Now, am I saying it's for all rices? No, because I only have an example of this one. But that is still a 60% increase, ladies and gentlemen. Anybody believe that some people are not going to be priced out of the food market? Anybody believe that some people will have to decide whether they eat or heat their homes? Anybody believe that some people will have to give up meals in order to make sure that their children eat? I bet you it's happening right now. Not happy that this is happening, ladies and gentlemen. Every once in a while, you'll hear me say, remember when I said this a year ago or a year and a half ago? It's not because I'm happy that the things that I said are coming to pass. It's not because of that. But because what I'm telling you is this: don't be the person that didn't listen a year ago and then not listen today. If you are that person that didn't listen a year ago, that's okay. It's all right. But listen today, because a year from now, I'm afraid it's going to be worse. I don't see this getting better, ladies and gentlemen, for another decade. And I know people don't want to hear that. It's not a good pill to swallow. All right? People do not want to hear that. But it's just what it is. We are going into a super cycle bear market for oil, which means that everything is going to cost more than what it costs now. Everything is. So get ready.